this is important, which means you have to by heart this from current affair perspective. Nalsa versus Union of India case pe. As of now, we will not delve into what was that case and all, not needed. Supreme Court for the first time recognized. In usual conventional sense, we have only two genders, male, female. But from your Nalsa case onwards, that is 2014 onwards, they recognize something called as third gender. From that point of time, if you see in any UPSC applications or any government posts you have to fill, there is three options: male, female, other, or third gender. Understanding? This concept of third gender came in aftermath of this particular case. Okay, this is important, write this down. Done? Now, who can tell whether a person is third gender? That was also told in the output of your Nalsa case only. They said the person, the so-called transgender person itself will tell whether he or a she. So, it is self-identifying gender. Okay? What is the identification just by the word of mouth? Just the word of mouth as in the... they just tell that we are that's it. For that they have to get one certificate also, little bit later I'll tell. Now first and foremost the question that will arise is who is a transgender? Write that down. Who is a transgender? A person whose gender is mismatched to the gender assigned at birth. Understanding? Which means present gender, what they feel and what they were given at birth, both are not matching. Understanding? Those people are called as transgenders. Clear? First and foremost, if you see the history of how the concept of a holistic bill of transgenders came into the concept, the history dates back to 2016 when a government, Lok Sabha pe, a bill was introduced for transgenders protection. Finally, that bill was passed in 2019. Write down the name of the bill. Transgender bill, write down and write the name, I'll tell you. Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act. Transgender Persons you can either write it this way, Transgender Persons Acts 2019, or you can even write this also, Protection of Rights Act. Either way, it is fine. Okay? And because this act was passed, this act gave a provision. The act now, for example, we have National Commission for SC, National Commission for ST. These are all constitutional bodies. Eventually, we started setting up lot of things. National Commission of Women, these are not constitutional bodies, but these are non-constitutional bodies. Now, this is a statutory body. This body is being created because it was mentioned in the act. Okay? A National Council for Transgender Person was created. Write that down. Because it was mentioned in the act. National Council for Transgender Persons, NCTP. This is the very first act, this is the very first council in India. Done? See, this was very much needed because one of the first things that they wanted to create, at least your judiciary as well as your parliament, both of them were eyeing for one thing. Whatever we call as transgender or third gender, it is not psychological or it is not a mental issue. It is an actual biological condition. That is why they gave the status of third gender. Okay, so they had to destigmatize. Destigmatize means reduce the social stigma. How are they going to reduce the social stigma? By increasing more awareness. How can they increase more awareness? 3 golden areas were brought in. Education, health, and your residence. Reason why I am telling residence is whenever any person in any family, they identify someone as third gender, the first thing they try to do is throw them out of the house. Understanding? So this act brought in one compulsion. No, these people have the right to stay in the home with their families or relatives. Just because a person is identified like this, you cannot throw that person outside. Second thing is, you cannot discriminate against these people on the grounds of education, health, employment. Okay, so this was one of the main aspects that they had thought of. Write this down. No discrimination on the grounds of education, health, and residence. So, write down features of Transgender Persons Act. Below this, write down transgenders include trans men, trans women, intersex variations, understanding? So they started segregating as to, no, within them there are various levels of people. That is, men who are misidentified as women, women who are misidentified as men. Understanding? And one more thing is, this particular act introduced right of residence. This is a key point, highlight it. Which means any person identified as transgender has the right to reside, live with family or relatives. So, right to residence was put in this act itself. See, right of residence is there, meaning you technically, who are you taking the case against? Your own parents? This will not exactly sit in a court of law very well. You are telling that don't throw your children out of the house. You can tell them, okay, this is, I'm going to enforce that they have a right to stay in the house. But just because they are not doing that, I can't imprison the parents, no. Because Indian social fabric is in such a manner that you can't imprison the parents because they're not allowing the children to stay in the home. Then if you ask what is the need to put it here, it is trying to create two things. One is create a moral nudge or a behavioral nudge, telling them that no, you have no right to throw people out just like that. If you throw them out directly, we will not put them in court, jails and all. Rather, we will try to counsel the family. Let's assume the family is hell-bent that it will not accept. We will see who are the other relatives. We will try to talk to them and make sure someone will accept these people. That is why we say parents or immediate family. Okay, we can't force anyone here. Read on. Certificate of identity. Certificate of identity. Okay, understand it like this. Let's say a person is a transgender. They have to get a certificate. Excuse me. One thing about this act is, this act speaks about dignity. Dignity of a transgender is also considered in this act. Before 2019, if at all you are going to call yourself a transgender, any version, either before or now, you have to get one certificate. Understanding? Certificate that these persons are transgender persons. To get that certificate, earlier a physical examination used to be done. Understanding? That physical examination was in a sense of violation of dignity. To identify whether what gender you were assigned at birth, what are you, when are you, so all that intrusive questions was very much affecting a person's dignity. 2019 Act changed that. It said, see, either way, before also you have to go and get a certificate from collector. Now what will happen is, you will go tell the collector. Excuse me. You will go tell the collector what your gender is. Just based on your word, you will be given the certificate. No physical examination or biological examination will be done on you. Understanding? So this preserves the self-dignity of even a transgender person. That is the highlight of this certificate of identity. Write that down how I told you. In 2020, that particular council was created. 2019 se act came in. Collector.
The certificate of identity is also part of the act itself.
Yes. Before this also we had certificate. Before this act also we had the concept of certificate. But this certificate was told in this act that you don't have to conduct any biological exams. No one will do any sort of examinations on you. What you tell, we will just listen to that.
That provision was changed.
Yes. No. Done? You can't discriminate on them against education, employment, healthcare, housing. Put these four in box and highlight this. Education, employment, healthcare, housing. Done? If at all anyone make sure that they will commit atrocities against these transgender people or violative of their basic dignity, then this act even brought in penalization plus fine. There is penalty plus fine plus imprisonment. Okay? Punishment for any offences. Read on punishment for any offences on transgender people can invoke an imprisonment of 6 months to 2 years. 6 months to 2 years alongside fine or penalty. Next is, we spoke about a council, right? National Council of Transgender People. Write on who is the chairman. Write on National Council for Transgender People, and below the point wise write on. Chairman is Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. Chairman is Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. Vice Chairman is Minister of State. Minister of State for Social Justice and Empowerment. In each state, one Minister of State will be there for social justice and empowerment, those people. Okay. Alongside this, write down members. This is chairperson, vice chairperson. Next is members. Members are 10 union government ministers. 10 union government ministers. Usually which these ministers will be means your education minister, health minister, right? So the same things, that whichever and all these people are needing those things. And it will have 5 representatives from states and union territories. Now look at this, when I tell 5 states, it means we are seeing as zones. North zone, all the northern states will send 1 representative, all the southern states will send 1 representative, western states, eastern and central states, northeastern states. All of those states put together will send 1 representatives. Understanding? Union ministers 10. North states all put together 1. Like that 5 zones. So they will send 5 representatives. Done? Next write down. Same again in members only. 5 members from transgender community. Now listen to this properly. Again same like states I told you, no? In all the northern states, they will pick 1 transgender person to represent them. All the southern states will pick 1 transgender person to represent them. It can be of any particular community or group, but they should speak for all the southern transgender people. Same for western, same for eastern and central and northeastern. This became one of the criticism also. Wait, such important thing, it is done for transgender people and only 5 people are being put into. Understanding? Below bracket period on, this became the criticism that only 5 people were given the representation. Done? Now how long these people will remain as chairman, vice chairman, members is for a term of 3 years. They hold this position for a term of 3 years. Okay. Other members will also be there from your Niti Aayog, National Human Rights Commission and all, just to see how things are happening. Okay, and they will provide any impetus. Next write down, what are the functions and powers of National Council for Transgender Persons? See, again, when we tell this National Council for Transgender Persons, it is not any binding agreement. Whatever recommendations this council will give, it is strictly recommendatory or advisory in nature. Read on. All the recommendations of National Council for Transgender Persons are merely recommendatory or advisory in nature. Are merely recommendatory or advisory in nature. All the recommendations of National Council for Transgender Persons are merely recommendatory in nature and not binding on the government. Okay, these people only will recommend us to see these atrocities are carried on transgender people, you can do this. They can only suggest to the government. Now we saw about the certificate, right? Identity certificate. That identity certificate in no way these people will issue. It will be issued only by the district collector. Understanding? Read on that also. Identity certificate or certificate of identity issuance is by district collector and not by the council. Okay, this council can inquire into any violations done against your transgender community, but they don't have any power to punish. Again, then what is the purpose? Then this is the one of the only body which is specifically designated for your transgender people. So this is one step ahead. Okay. Yes.
It is mandatory to give that certificate to district collector, or he have some discretionary power?
No, he has to give. No discretionary powers in this. Next topic is Radhakrishnan has become the new Vice President of India. Just write on the heading Vice President of India. Election Commission conducted the election for the Vice President. Write that down point wise. Election Commission conducts the election for the office of Vice President. Okay. There is an electoral college. Vice President has an electoral college. Electoral college means who and all will vote in your Vice President election. All the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. When I use the word all the members, this includes elected plus nominated. Understanding? So in total 781 people were casting their vote. All the members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha means both elected and nominated members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Understanding? And in here, state legislative assemblies are not involved in the electoral college. President electoral college pe, it is bigger. Your Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, state legislative assembly, all those are involved. Vice President is only Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. No state legislative assembly. Write that down. Done? C.P. Radhakrishnan was elected as the 15th Vice President. The previous former one was Dankar. He resigned. Okay. So C.P. Radhakrishnan is the 15th Vice President. Write that down. Done? Vice President of India, again this is little bit static content, no need to write anything down, this is directly there in your Article 63 speaks that India shall have the concept of a vice president. The role of vice president is only two things. Okay, one is he will be the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Two, he will act as a temporary president for a maximum of 6 months. Why he will act as a president for maximum of 6 months? Within 6 months, presidential election has to be conducted. So that is the only two powers he has. Understanding? And vice president is not given any other more charge than these two. Election of vice president happens through electoral college, we have discussed that. And how he is elected means through proportional representation, single transferable vote and secret ballot. Write all these three and highlight it. Election for vice president is through proportional representation, single transferable vote and secret ballot. Secret ballot means whichever MP is picking a candidate, he doesn't have to show it to any party whip members. Who party whip is, Polity pe they'll explain. Now I told you secret ballot means you don't have to show to whip. Open ballot means you have to show it to the whip. Just to give a rough idea what a whip is, let's assume I am from, this is full all the members of Lok Sabha and this let's take Lok Sabha only. All of us are there, we are all MPs, but we all come from different parties. Yes, I told you vice president candidates also, let's say 15 members are there. Let's say Congress party will like one candidate, BJP person will like one more candidate. Now, if I am telling all my BJP candidates vote for this particular person, he is supposed to vote. Now, if you vote, I'll give you one piece of paper and list of candidates. You have to pick the candidates. And after what you write in the paper, you will come and show it to me. I will represent one leader from BJP. He has to see whether you have voted like I have told you or not. This is called whip. If you don't do that, you know the meaning of whip. Whip is nothing but you hit with it. Right? So you have to listen to what I tell. Open ballot means whoever or however you have put the election, you have to come and show it to me. Then only you can go put it in the box. Secret ballot means I won't know what you have picked. Whip will not stand. You will stand in one corner, cast your vote, come back. No one will know who did you cast your vote for. Understanding the difference between open ballot and secret ballot? Yes. Eligibility of Vice President of India is he has to be a citizen of India, 35 plus years of age, should be eligible to be a member of Rajya Sabha and should not hold any office of profit. Static contents. We'll deal with this question. You don't have to write it, just try to analyze it here only. With reference to Vice President of India, he is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, correct or wrong? His election is conducted only by the elected members of parliament. Why? It is elected plus nominated. So this is wrong. He can discharge the functions of president during a casual vacancy. See, this is correct. See, again, these terms people tend to get confused and these are the terms that UPSC will introduce. Vacancy, temporary, these things are fine. When they introduce casual also, it is fine. In case he is sick for 15 days or he is not in a good health to come and attend, that is casual vacancy. The correct answer is 1 and 3. Next topic, Himachal Pradesh declared as a fully literate state. Done? See, few things understand here. If at all we are going to call any state, okay, any state or UT, Union Territory, to be fully literate means, in that particular state, if at least 95% of people are literate, not educated, you cannot use the word educated in this topic at all. In general, literate is separate, educated is separate. Okay, we are all literates. It's doubtful how many of us are educated. So fully literate is 95%. If that state has acquired literacy rates, then that state will be given fully literate status. Himachal Pradesh went on to get a 99%. So it is fully literate state. And if a state has to be called a fully literate state, at least 95% of the people in that particular state has to be literate. See, it feels nice to tell, no? We have so many states which is getting literacy rate. But if you see the bar is kept very low. That bar itself, this is the performance. I'll tell you. We said 95% of the state should be literate. Now we will bring the question of who is a literate. You also write that down. Who is a literate according to the state? Anyone who can read, write and comprehend, which means understand what I am telling in any one language. That doesn't mean English, any local language also. Who can read, write and comprehend. Comprehend means understand. Now the question will come as read and write. I can even give a trigonometry book and tell read this and write this. Yes. What exactly is the level of reading and writing that they have kept? Uniform this is. Third standard child, how much it reads and writes? How much? Third standard child. How much a third standard child is able to read and write? If an adult is able to do that, that person is illiterate. Okay? So the bar is third standard. No, third standard we are telling, we are not taking private school ka third standard. Government schools pe third standard it's there, no? All the government throughout our country maintains a uniform government school curriculum. That only will apply. Done? It is Himachal is the 5th state to get the status of fully literate. Which are the other statements? Goa, Ladakh, Mizoram, Tripura. Important, write this. Kerala is got before only. We are talking about recent ones. First one to get that status was Kerala only.
How many states are like fully represented?
5. The new ones. Old one is only Kerala only. Done? Ullas program. Write down the heading. Ullas. ULLAS. Listen to this. Technically, we know children means according to government it is below 18 years of age, right? Only for literacy levels we have different versions. From 7 years to 15 years, you are a child. By 15, take it as 14. From 15 onwards, you are an adult. With respect to literacy, only literacy. Understanding? There is a reason why this distinction is there also. See, 7 to 14 years of age, you are still a child. If we have to increase all your, let's say, enrollment rate, gross enrollment ratio, reduce the dropout rates, all that will be done through your schooling program. 15 plus onwards, they have considered adult. Why if only 15 years? Why not 18 years? Okay. So come again. Mean year of schooling. Okay. Something very simple.
You said that after 14 years, education will be dependent on the economic status of the state.
Very good. RT Act Article 21A. Free and compulsory education is for how many years? 6 to 14 years. Right? So state is only giving us free and compulsory education, that is only primary education. So it can be held accountable only up until here, not above that. After that, we are calling them as adult. Why we are not keeping them as children is because then that will again be a burden on state, and state has strictly told that mandatory only 6 to 14 years. So because of this, 15 onwards is considered as an adult. If any adult has not got an education or not undergone any schooling 15 plus years, we will call them as adult literacy programs. That is, we have to make them also educated. That is what is your ULAS program for. Adult literacy rates. And the aim of ULAS program is by 2030 we have to reach 100% adult literacy. Above 15 years, people should be able to read, write, comprehend third standard books. With respect to census, see, as of now 2021 census is not there, so 2011 census only. We will consider literacy rate of adults as separate, men as separate, and your women as separate. Children ka we are not taking in because we are providing compulsory education. Overall literacy is considered. Overall literacy. Ha. Men and women in that segregation. Entire country. Okay, we have discussed what is fully literate means. At least you have to be able to read, write, comprehend. ULAS program was launched by Ministry of Education in 2022. Okay. Now, those who have got this, now let's say those who, whichever adults who have not got this education, what government will try to do is it will conduct adult literacy campaigns, drives, they will conduct night schools, they will also try to teach through your community members, volunteers, through them they will try to conduct. And if at all, let's say someone has been given the education, now we have to know whether that person knows to read or write. So we will give them a test. Okay. So whoever has got training through your adult literacy campaigns, they will be given one test, only one test. That test will be for 150 marks. Write that down. Assessment of adult literacy. Assessment of adult literacy is carried on through functional literacy numerical assessment. Functional literacy numerical assessment, otherwise FLNAT. One second. FLNAT test. Okay. This test will be given to them and this will be for 150 marks. Once they clear this, again for 150 they don't have to get 150, very basic marks. For us only 35, for them it is even less. Okay, once they have cleared this, they will be given a certificate that this so-called person is literate. This certificate is provided by NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. Tell me.
So if you're saying 95 plus for in order to declare fully literate, so in order, like we are saying that 95 plus in order to declare fully literate for any state of India. So like there's a lot of people like migrants, tribal people, and all of that. So are we trying to say that they account only like less than 5%?
No, we are including them also. Tribal people are also given literacy through your Ekalavya schools, residential schools, model schools, and even for those people also they are telling mandatory literacy should be given. And this literacy does not just include reading or writing a third standard book, but also recently they have started teaching your digital applications and trying to show them how you can calculate the currency notes, how much currency do you have in hand, and how can you do a digital payment. All these are also they are teaching. Done? So this is census 2011 reports. This is important for all your mains answer, you can use it. Read on. Census literacy level is male literacy is 80.9%. Female literacy is 64.6%. Adult literacy, that is 15 plus years of age, 69.3%. This data will be very much changing because present we don't have census yet. We will get it in another couple years. Male literacy 80.9%, female literacy 64.6%, adult literacy is 69.3%. See, various other organizations also will give you census, your literacy data. But I would suggest, and for UPSC, stick to census data only. Meaning, you have seen the numbers here, no? The next one, this is given by NSS, the National Sampling Survey. This tells adult literacy is 71%. Literacy rate has increased to 77.5%. The thing is, that is 2011 ka data. This might be true in 2023 levels, but you stick to census data only and mention according to Census of India. The next data you will mention is the next census will be getting. Worst performing are your Bihar, Madhya Pradesh with respect to literacy rates, which is somewhere around 35%, 36%. No need to write down. Now look at this with respect to Ullas scheme. It was launched in 2022 by Ministry of Education, correct or wrong? It aims to achieve 100% literacy in India by 2030. Adult learners are assessed through foundational literacy numerical assessment test. Certificate of literacy is provided by National Institute of Open Schooling. All four are correct. Next topic is governors as true guides and philosophers. See, a Chief Justice of India, present Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, all of them have told same thing with respect to governors. Is to act as neutral referees and not parallel governments. What happened? Governors as true guides and philosophers. Done? You don't have to mention Chief Justice Chandrachud or Chief Justice Gawai told this, but they are asking for more neutrality with respect to governors. See, this topic is largely more of your static, but why this topic is brought in is there are some Supreme Court judgments Exactly how it is, you will write down same way, you will by heart it same way. Understanding? First and foremost, these are the static contents. Okay, you don't have to write anything down. According to Article 153, state shall have a governor, and that person will be aided and assisted by your Council of Ministers, and this is binding on the governor. This is fine. The reason why this particular topic we are discussing right now in today's current affairs is your Kerala governor, whatever bill was passed to him for university. See, one thing is, understand, in universities, central level education is a state list topic. Sorry, concurrent list. When I tell concurrent, it is center plus state. So, in the central level universities, the chancellors and vice chancellors are appointed by president. In the state universities, again we have something called chancellor. Usually the governor of that state only will become a chancellor of that university. But he has to appoint one person as a vice chancellor. Understanding? Here is where the fight will come between your executive and governor. Executive will tell, that is your chief minister and council of ministers will tell, pick one person. Governor will keep that bill to president, purposefully delay it if it is not the person that he likes. The same thing happened recently in Kerala. That is why we are again discussing this topic. Understanding? This is not just of one state, the issue has come, we are discussing. Majority of the states, issue always comes in this topic only. Okay? Write this down. Education is concurrent list, center plus state. In central universities, chancellor appointed by president, state chancellor is governor himself, vice chancellor is to be appointed. And we also saw the Tamil Nadu governor case where bills were continuously kept on delaying, right? Like this, the history of governors and the state government having a fight has always been higher. One such thing was, whenever the governor, let's say the central government is of some other party, one particular state ka governor is allegiance towards the central party, but the party who is in the center is some other regional party, and I have found out they have no majority. They have not physically come out and told. Usually what the governors will do is dismiss, there is no majority. So at that point of time, largely it used to happen in 1980s and 1990s. At that point of time, SR Bommai case pe, judiciary held that in order to decide the majority of the house, you have to do floor test. Raj Bhavan should not decide, which means governor should not himself decide that no, they've lost majority. Floor test must be conducted. That is, you will sit in the let's say assembly and you will tell, show me your majority. Okay, this floor test is to happen in a fair, transparent manner. So what is important for you is SR Bommai case pe they mentioned floor test is mandatory for testing majority. That much write down. Floor test mandatory for testing majority. Done? We'll move ahead. See, the same cases will be having very different things, which means one case pe they will tell a lot of things. Example, SR Bommai case pe they said federalism is a part of basic structure. Write that also now. Done? Next case is Shamsher Singh case. Shamsher Singh case, 1974, in which Supreme Court held that governor is Shamsher Singh case, in which judiciary held that governor is the constitutional head of state. State here means literal state, and is bound by the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. Okay. Next is Shiv Sena case, 2023. Shiv Sena case of 2023, where judiciary held that floor test is mandatory only if there is a real loss of majority. Just because two people are fighting, you will not tell I will create floor test. If really a party has lost a majority, then only you will do floor test. You will not do floor test because within the party there is fights going on. Okay, this was in your Shiv Sena case. Next item, BP Singhal case. BP Singhal, 2010. BP Singhal case, 2010. Read on. Governor, where judiciary held that governor holds the position of constitutional head even though appointed by president, but cannot be arbitrarily removed. Even though the president is appointing a governor and he is holding the office during president's pleasure, I cannot arbitrarily remove a governor. Okay. Yes, all the cases that you wrote down are judicial cases. And look at this question. Tell me if these statements are correct. The governor may reserve certain bills for the consideration of president. Correct. Okay. Governor can dissolve the legislative assembly only on the advice of Council of Ministers. Whenever there is this word, always be cautious. Aid and advice of Council of Ministers is fine. Let's assume that Council of Ministers have lost majority. Why will he have to listen to the Council of Ministers? Governor has discretion here. So, he will use his discretion here and he will not listen to the Council of Ministers. He will go to some other party and he will ask, can you form the majority? So, this statement is wrong. Okay. Third statement, the governor can exercise mercy powers only with respect to offences against state laws. Otherwise, I will simplify the statement. Karnataka pe what issue has happened? Karnataka powers only are there with Karnataka governor. Right or wrong? Right, wrong. Okay. See, president is president of India. Governor of Karnataka is only governor for Karnataka. He cannot go pardon any cases for Tamil Nadu. He can only pardon cases, let's say you have this thing in polity, remission, respite, all these things. He can do only in territorial jurisdiction of Karnataka only. It cannot extend outside Karnataka's jurisdiction. So, with respect to offences against state laws only, he can do. Okay. So, 1 and 3. Last topic is India's federal design and Jammu and Kashmir statehood.
The bill that governor was not passing for 2 years, so they considered those bills as passed.
Okay. No, that was not how it happened. Let's say what happened in Tamil Nadu case only I'll explain. First they passed the bill, okay? They sent it to the governor. The governor then held it for the president. Understanding? There is a provision where next time if you are reintroducing the same bill, the governor is mandatorily supposed to sign that bill. But in this case also he held it for president. This is unnecessary delay. So judiciary held that the day on which both houses signed, that day, reintroduction day, is considered the bill is passed. Judiciary did not pass this bill. Judiciary told technically according to constitution this is the procedure. Governor didn't follow the procedure. That is why the bills were passed. Okay. Last topic is India's federal design and Jammu and Kashmir statehood. There's nothing much in this topic of to explain, but rather what can be done. One of the main thing is Supreme Court has issued a directive in 2023 which said that, see, abrogation of Article 370. Article 370 is now repealed. It was giving special status to Jammu and Kashmir. Supreme Court held that, okay, Parliament can make this decision where it can revoke this status. And after revoking the special status, Jammu and Kashmir was made into 2 union territories. Yes or no? Now these 2 union territories, whatever was made into, eventually according to Article 3, if you see, Parliament has the power to create states. Okay? It can create new states either through existing states. Understanding? Polity pe all the static portions will be thought. The Parliament, one of the whole, here we will again bring back SR Bommai case. Federalism is a basic structure, which means center-state relation has to be there. Supreme Court is telling your Parliament, okay, you have made them into 2 union territories, I agree to this decision. You revoke the special status, that also I agree. What now I am asking is, give them their statehood back. Understand one thing, statehood before this 2019 Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act also they were a state, but that time they were a special state. That was removed. This is completely out. They will not get that special status again. They were made into a union territory. Now when Supreme Court is telling give the statehood back, it does not mean old statehood. It is like any other state whatever we have right now, like that give one statehood. Understanding? Judiciary is telling that because this will balance federalism. People also will feel like, okay, unity, integrity, sovereignty. But what the other side is arguing is, still the scenario in Jammu and Kashmir is very tense. Right now giving the statehood would mean that center won't be able to control the external elements. So as of now, let us continue like this only. So this is just both sides telling what can be done for Jammu and Kashmir. That's it. Understanding? Right on. The issue is about statehood. In 2023 directive, Supreme Court held that Article 370, whatever was abrogated or revoked, which means taken away, we are holding that correct. All we are telling is restore the Jammu and Kashmir statehood and conduct elections in that state. Then clear up until here? Online class, any doubts?